All right, so we're going to be exploring what the experience is like going through the onboarding process once you've made the purchase. So normally you would go to your Autodesk account and you would go to products and services and you would see something here that would mention access. Now, for this particular reason, I'm not seeing it there. I'm not sure why, other than it looks like you could access this from here, from home. Install. So see, yeah, there is no install, it's access. So first let's add users to your account, user management. Okay, lovely. Nothing. Love this. Just hit the back button. Wow. Lovely. No, don't want to participate. Go to user management. By user. By product. By group. Lovely. All right, let's just go to access. Not helpful. How about we just launch Fusion and enable it? How about that? Hopefully that works. Okay, so there's the data panel. Home. Let's hit home. What does home look like? Okay, most of the different products here. Update now. I don't want to update. Just update. Let's go to extensions. Active. Okay, so it says that it's active. Perfect. Just a sec. All right, Zach, I'm recording. Brother. All right, so from here we can see we saw that the extension is active, and then from here I should be able to go to the hub. No, of course not. Okay, from the data panel, I can say open in the web. Boom. Here is the team, and then somewhere there should be a button that says process, and it doesn't. It doesn't show that. Brother. Fine. So just open a component. Doesn't matter. Manage. Let's just go ahead and assign this an item number. Hasn't been enabled for this team yet. Do you want to enable manage extension for this team? yes, I want to enable it for the team. Ugh, brother. Don't you love how Fusion 360 is enabling when they did a name change like over a year ago? Still hasn't propagated the product itself. Hasn't been updated. Okay. I don't think that's the normal onboarding process. But apparently, it could be. It might be. So we can cancel, and I bet you we can go back, hit refresh, and
welcome to VoiceOver.
Oh boy. No. This is awesome.
Press VoiceOver off. Press Command F5 to turn on VoiceOver.
There we go. Maybe I should have just gone to the admin. I bet you that's where it was. Hub settings. Account 3D. Projects. Numbering. I'm going to go ahead and set up some schemes. So projects, groups, admins, everyone, members. So somehow I need to make sure that I have in hub admin project creator active. Okay. It's a new tab. Oh, brother. Okay, perfect. That was weird. That was not what I was expecting for an onboarding experience. But okay, it works. And from here, PLM roles, we should see that these are the default change orders, problem reports, change requests. Okay, we should have the normal workspaces for components, which are really items and bombs. That's fine that it's not. And go to workspaces, PLM roles. Saw that. PLM settings. System configuration. So, this is my recommendation. Yes, you can turn it on and just start going about your business. I know that's what normally we would tell customers. At the same time, I think it's super critical that you recognize the importance of doing some planning and going through and setting up, configuring your environment for that. So what do I mean by that? Like, this is a perfect one. Like, yes, I would more than likely recommend keep the default things as they are. In this case, the lifecycle editor of I'm just in an unreleased state. I'm going to a pre-production. Then once I've secured suppliers, once we've confirmed that the parts are good and we want to release this to customers and to the public, to paying customers, then it would go that route. So I'm probably not going to do anything with that. However, on the general settings, in terms of how things are numbered, all of that stuff, I do think it would be important to go through and start configuring some of this. I think at the minimum, I'm going to come up with a few part numbering systems because I've already established some with some of the products and the CAD files that I've used in the past. So that's probably what I'm going to do there. But even before that, if we're going to do, and normally I would say just start with items and bombs and then go on to change management. However, and maybe that's what we should do. I'm almost feeling like, should we start with that? Because the other thing we could do is go to the template library. So here's the thing, is that now that all of these workspaces, quality management, requirements management, here's where I am personally wanting that extra stuff is around new product introduction and ideas management. I'm just starting out. Yeah, I'm already creating some project, but now I'm actually taking a pause and saying, wait a second, before I put the cart before the horse, why not first develop which of the product ideas that I have and then I'm in the middle of designing, which one should I prioritize based off of the market research that's been done and what has proven that it might have a viable market. So that's part of why I would want to actually start out of the box leveraging those workspaces along with product portfolio management and start to input pricing and that information. Same with supplier management. I'm already dealing with suppliers. So I think yes, it's a good idea to just start with the basics, but I already know I'm going to want supplier management. I'm going to want product portfolio and ideas management and even NPI. So we might as well just go through the process of setting up all of these workspaces, getting them activated. So should we do that now? Why not? Now it's interesting though, change management. That's where it's like, well, isn't that already set up out of the box? Is it not the same change management workspace that's already here with change requests? I have no idea. No idea. If I start a new change record, it looks like maybe some of these things are configured. I'm not sure. So we're going to leave that. Descriptor format. I almost feel like I'd like to explore this one, workspace field. Help location. Okay, cool. Support email. Yeah, we're going to leave that as is. Main menu designer. Leave that as is. Pick list manager. Yeah, we're going to leave that for now. Same with the scripting. The setup log. Okay. System log. PLM roles. Interesting. How do I go back? Oh, is this a different box? Yeah, different window. There's going to be so much dead air. So that's interesting. 9 active users, 0 inactive. Okay, manage licenses. Interesting. Autodesk account admin quick start guide. 18 tutorials. No. I'm already dreading. This is why people don't do this. Oh my gosh. Begin learning. Explore. Autodesk account. Admin quick start. I think this is for account, no? Like your overall tour of Autodesk account. Yeah. This isn't for manage. Create an Autodesk team. Assign access by product. Brother. Yeah, why did that open? I don't know. Products and services. I'm wondering if now it's enabled. Nope. It's not. User management. Still not there. Okay, by product. Fusion Man, 0 of 1. Okay, cool. Should be assigned from, okay, users assigned to a specific subscription can only access a seat from that subscription. Okay, cool. Pool. Jump in the pool. Add this product to a group. To easily assign products to I don't need to worry about that right now. Okay. Let's just do it. We're burning time here. We're gonna enable it. We're gonna go to PLM template library. Gonna go to, first things first, ideas management. Drive innovation by capturing, yeah, whatever. Install. So install this. Please review. The application is ready. The following components will be created. Now, the question is, will those roles be available? I don't know. Let's find out. Was successfully installed. Great. Love it. All right. Now we're going to go back. PLM settings, template library. I wonder what happens once you activate it. If it like grays out and says, yeah, you already created this. Go back. template library. It ain't going back. Home. Okay, hit home. PLM settings, template library. Thank you. Design reviews. We might as well enable that one because the thought process is that we can bring in suppliers. It'll be interesting to see if they actually are open to coming into your environment. My experience, it's very difficult, and most suppliers just want to collaborate via email. They have their own internal systems. We'll see, though. So we're going to go design reviews. We're going to install that puppy. We're just going to install all the things. All the things. Okay, installed. Home, PLM, template library, design reviews ideas, NPI, install. Powered by Autodesk Fusion Manage, install. Just install everything. Do it all. Okay. But it's interesting. I'm not so far I'm not seeing the new workspaces show up. So we may have to go into the menu designer to add those. Having said that, if I'm a new user and don't have any idea about how this template library works, I'm confused as hell. So PLM, template library. Got to go home first for some reason. PLM, template library. Product portfolio management. Bring it. Install. Okay. Awesome. Look at that. We are cooking with grease. Well, I haven't even started the fire yet, but that's all right. Template library. So we've done design reviews, this. Quality. Let's go for it. Because I've already experienced getting first samples and then realizing that there's a few, I don't want to call them defects, but there's a few things that were unexpected, and there was a few things that didn't meet spec. So yes, I guess it's a defect. And so I had to collaborate with the supplier. So if I'm already doing the action, how am I tracking that today? I had just email trails. That's all I have. So I might as well start my business off on the right foot by documenting this in a digital workflow and having this all in one spot. Install. Let's go. PLM. Well, go to home first. Home. PLM settings. System template library. Losing my mind already. Requirements management. Ensure that your products meet market consumer expectation. That's why not do it. I'd rather this stuff be installed out of the box and then, oh, I don't need that, and then I can hide it. That's my personal opinion. Supplier collaboration, supplier management. Again, interesting how they delineate the two. Let's actually read. Collaborate with your suppliers online in real time to reduce both cost and delays. Create and share supplier packages. So the management part, I think, has to do more with, okay, I've established these as my suppliers. I'm having regular checks with them. And this is more, I think, on the front end of determining who your supplier is going to be through quotes and just getting them information and then getting those quotes back from them, I believe. Again, you would think I would know this. But the reality is, when you are not in the trenches of actually doing the work, it does become a little bit more hazy. It becomes a little more difficult to remember exactly what those motions look like and what you're doing. So definitely beneficial in more ways than one. Template library, requirements, supplier, and last one. Let's go. Install. Okay. I've got all the things. So actually, I am interested. Change approval, change orders, change requests, change problem. I want to take a look at that last one from the template library of change management to say standardize, learn more. If I hit install, I want to see, it's going to say, are you going to do this? Change task, problems report, _1. So yeah, why would I want a new one? Yeah, I don't want a new one. So cancel that. Not sure why they do that. So let's go to our glorious workspace manager and look at all these glorious workspaces that I now have access to, that I can begin to build. Now, once again, if I hit refresh, I'm not seeing all of those. So I think the first thing that might have to happen is the roles associated with that. Approver. So notice that each workspace has different roles, and roles have different permissions associated with them. The question becomes, though, am I assigned to that, and can I see it? And it's different in the managed extension than it is in the managed product. In the managed product, that's in the user administration. But here, if I go to edit one of these, okay, yeah, that's just description and workspace, what it's tied to. Permissions is here, where you go through and say, okay, here are the permissions associated with this role for each of these workspaces. So we're going to cancel there. So if that's not it, then my next guess is under PLM settings, system configuration, main menu designer. I think there you go. So that's disabled. Interesting. I don't even know what that is. So drawings and components, problem reports, designs, projects, products, quality. So all of this is here. So the question becomes, why am I not seeing it? I'm wondering if I have to close it, log out, log back in. Pick list manager. And now you've got all of these things there. Okay, let's try that. We're going to close out. We're going to go to our Fusion Teams. We're going to refresh Fusion Teams. And we're going to click the process button. And it's not there. Drawings, components, change, problems. Let's try exiting out of the browser. That was not helpful. Members. Hub settings, file sharing, access, members, groups, admins, projects. There should be a PLM role thing popping up, but it's not. So part of me feels like I need to sign out. I'm going to go here. If I click on this. So that's a good question. Think about if you go home, think of all the different projects and all the different designs that you made. Question is, it's very tempting to say, I'm just going to start adding things as products and designs and items. Again, before you do that, I think it would be beneficial to set up the numbering schemes and things that you want to choose from to make that work. So I'm going to see if this brings me back. If I go to the part, if I go to this project, okay, this opens this. Question is, do I now have project details, members and permissions? And this is where we've got Bruce. And I'm still not seeing any. I still think it's under admin. Admin, members. Who are these people? These are just different collaborators I've worked with in the past. Role, project creator. Hub admin. Great. I bet you. Dashboard. I'm still not seeing the workspaces. So something tells me it needs to be assigned. So we're going to pause. Okay. So it looks like thanks to Gus, this is what's disappointing. If it wasn't for this video and me remembering that he did a video about how to configure and set this up, I wouldn't know what the hell was going on to configure this. So after that you have set up or added the workspaces and you see them in your workspace manager, then we have to go back to the admin portion of Teams, Fusion Teams, to then see that. Now, where I made the mistake was I went to groups and I went to admins and I said, I don't see anything related to PLM. However, the everyone group does show where you can start adding that. So that makes me think, okay, you have to have a specific group to be able to do that. So in this case, I'm going to create a PLM group and group for PLM permissions. And we're at this point, we'll do hopefully all of these components, problem reports, change requests. Now, I don't see any of the other ones, and I bet you he talks about it in that video. And I decided I'm not gonna sit around and watch the entire thing, but that's fine. We'll just create a group. We're gonna say this is our PLM group. I'm in that. No members yet. Of course it wouldn't take, because that's just how the things work. Enter. And okay, another thing, like you have to hit enter. Like, what the hell? Why didn't it just drawings, components, problem reports, change requests? Hit enter. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, great. No role. Editor. So a PLM, we should probably call this PLM admin, but I do want both editor and, that's really interesting, system components, problem reports, creator, editor, reviewer, and a change request, editor and viewer. So we may, 2 roles added. That's weird. All right, so for now, I'm going to rename, edit the name, PLM admin, because there may be a future state where we want a group and we want them to have certain access, but not have access to everything. In the case of if you're just the business owner, you're of course going to want to have access to everything in there. So for now, what I'm not seeing is the other workspaces. And I bet you that video is going to talk about it. So give me a second. Okay, so in this case, I now see that there's other workspaces. I'm not sure if I just didn't scroll down or what was going on there. So we got drawings, components, change records, change orders. I'm going to have to do all of these. Hello. And I feel like I should just hit enter. There we go. And that way I can just go down the list. Change tasks. Enter. Change approval templates. Enter. Ideas. Enter. Design reviews. Enter. Design review tasks. Enter. Project phases. Enter. Am I doing too many? What's going on here? Project phase. Teams. Enter. I feel like it's rolling through and you need to do a bunch more. That's really strange. Let's go ahead and start assigning. Yeah, see, I feel like there's a bunch more and I can't access it because there's not enough. No, that's really weird. But if I refresh on my workspace, maybe they will pop up now. Okay, so yeah, there we go. We've got these things now. Now we can see the workspace. Golly, geez, what? That again, thank you, Gus, for putting out that content. Because otherwise, I have no freaking clue as an end user, as an admin. I'm sorry. It's probably buried somewhere in the documentation. But there's no guidance on that. It's not intuitive of what is the next step. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to call it a night for now and pick up again later. Thanks, Gus. I lied. I think I'm just going to keep cranking through because I'd love to get to a stopping space of where all of this is set up so that we can then continue to configure the workspaces. But here's my beef, right? I can refresh this page and I see that we got the original workspaces of drawings, problem reports, components, blah, blah, blah. I can't see the rest of the things that are there. So now I have to figure out, well, which ones am I still missing? I don't remember where I left off. I think we left off on teams. Let's start at people. Enter. So I feel like that's what's going to happen is you're just going to have to. This is ridiculous. Okay. Yes, I'm difficult to please. Nope. What the? Projects. My gosh. Project templates. Project tasks. And we'll do 2 more. Didn't I already did that. Project tasks. Checklist templates. Product lines. Okay. Go through. And again, he only put the top one, which makes sense, right? Okay, I'm the admin level. I don't need both. But every once in a while, there might be something weird that one role has as a permission that the other one didn't. So from an admin role standpoint, a lot of times I just go ahead and just put both. So it looks like once you choose it, it commits. So then we do this again. We hit refresh. Go to the PLM admin. There you go. And I all I see are those first ones again. So once again, there's no way to see the other workspaces, and that's a big whatever. That's not acceptable. So fix that, please. Okay. People, time, project, time. So where did we leave off? I don't remember. See? I don't remember where we left off. I think it was checklist templates. Product lines. Enter. Oh. Okay. Looks like that was already done. So product lines. Product categories. Enter. There we go. Yeah, I feel like I'm just going to have to go through every freaking one. Checklist. Oh my gosh. This is mind-numbing. Products. Portfolios. Nonconformances. Nonconformance, corrective actions. There's only an editor in portfolio? Interesting. Viewer editor. Okay. Hit refresh. Start the chaos again. Products, portfolios, nonconformances, quality inspections. See, and I needed that workspace because, like I said, I've already gone through the motions of receiving first samples from a supplier and then inspecting them. And even though I might not be as regimented as what a normal manufacturer does, it's the beginning of how I would do business. And if anything, this helps me as a small business owner to understand what should I be working up to. And I think that's sometimes the missing key for these smaller businesses to be able to, just learn, like, what does best practices look like? This is giving you all of that structure of what it should be. And I just forgot where I'm at. It was quality inspections. Okay. Quality. Return merchandise. That will be interesting. The first time I have a request for refund. Quality inspections. Claims. I'm not sure how does claims differ? Okay, so yeah, you can have a claim and it not result in a return merchandise authorization. It's just a claim. You could then reject it. So there you go. That makes sense. Claims. So once again, like, it's is educational and helping small business owners like myself to work through that. And figure out, like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I should track that. I guess I should make sense of what that is. Requirements. Did I already put requirements? There we go. Requirement approvals. Okay, man. So I'm going to pause because I feel like You get the idea. And this is the part 2 where I think, like, this is the tedious, like, okay, this is the tedious part of getting through that hurdle. And a lot of small business owners, or even large corporations, they have the attitude, oh, I don't have time for this. I'm too busy trying to just run my business. And once again, what is that saying? An ounce of prevention. I don't even remember what the saying is. But these are the things that can help you develop, maybe not the skill set, but just develop a framework for setting yourself up for success instead of constantly reacting to these things. Again, that's what I'm hoping. Again, this experiment may easily turn out to be like, yeah, this is ridiculous and this is crazy for me to try and manage all these things. That's fine. That's fine if that's the learning process. But from what I've experienced in other manufacturers and what I've seen them go through, it's a necessity, especially when your team starts to get so large. There's too many moving pieces to be able to try and do it all the way that you were doing it when you first started out to begin with. So my thought process is just set yourself up for success early. Get yourself learning these things and working through the process. I think we're a bunch of, there we go, validations. All right, I'm going to pause. One that I just added here was supplier. We got supplier packages, package templates, proposals, deliverables. Again, what the heck what is the difference between a proposal and a package? I'm not quite sure, but again, this will be a learning process for me as we look into that item record of, oh, okay, this is what you could use this for. But I'm hoping one of the biggest questions that I've had to understand, or that I'm wanting to achieve through this exercise, is understanding which versions / revisions of the components of the products that I've sent out, of the models that I've sent out to suppliers, are with which suppliers, right? You interact with more than one. And so one you may be using for prototyping, and another one you may be gearing up to say, okay, this is the supplier that's going to do actual production run. And so you want to be able to keep track of, like, okay, I sent them this one and I sent this other supplier a different one. And I'm like, how? I don't really see a way to do that natively in Fusion. In Fusion, you're just simply tracking those milestones. And then this is intended to say, okay, this will manage a release process. But now, again, how do you then manage this revision was sent to these suppliers? This revision is only with this one supplier. I'm hoping that maybe that supplier deliverables workspace will keep track of that, right? In terms of, like, okay, I'm interacting with the supplier. These are these are the deliverables that I sent to them, and therefore there's your record, so that when you do a search, that you'll see the connection between those. That's the hope, at least. Okay, and I should just go ahead and assign the roles. So this is actually another important thing to note. So we see in some of these supplier roles, the viewer, editor, and then external. So this is where the thought process is, if I can get my supplier to participate in this interface and in this process, that now we can have a record and collaborate much better. But I can already see now where I'm going to probably or likely create another group that is just the external collaborators, in which case we would assign them this external role, which has those specific permissions set for external suppliers. So that's a guess. We'll see in practice. So exactly as I guessed, that first round where I was just adding all of them as much as I could, but then I didn't see that I could scroll and see all of the ones that I picked. I wasn't able to access them, so therefore I wasn't able to assign the roles. And now I'm going back from the beginning and having to check, okay, which ones did I actually get to? And that's, again, just not acceptable in my mind. Okay, I think we're good, but hopefully that's it. But once again, hopefully that's it, right? But now people are having to spend time going through every freaking one and verify that. Why? Because I can't scroll and see all of the different workspaces. I know, constant updates, live updates, but put in an idea request. Whatever. I feel like just randomly. All right, I think I'm good. Okay. Save. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm thinking there should be more now. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Magic 10 workspaces. There's your items and bombs, your drawings, change management, problem reports, change requests, change orders, tasks, templates, your ideas management. That'll be cool to start off. Design reviews, great. NPI, great. Product portfolio management, awesome. Quality, all of those things, non-conformance, action plans, Kappa, all that. RMAs, requirements management, supplier collab, and supplier management. So it's interesting how they break it out, right? Of management, like who are the suppliers? This audits workspace, I'm almost positive what it's related to is typically there's a cadence of like going through and auditing the suppliers. Are they meeting certain whatever metrics? And based off that, you would give each supplier a grade, and that would determine, something for procurement to make a decision on whether or not to continue that relationship with the supplier. But then the supplier collaboration workspace, more focused on the actual interactions that you're having with suppliers. And I'm almost guessing, this is just a guess that the reason that they broke it out into a different workspace was to ensure that maybe no wires would get crossed in terms of permissions, because you likely, number one, you probably don't want to reveal your supplier list to other suppliers, to their competitors and whatnot. You don't want to see what your audit process or what grades that they have. And that's probably, in my mind. Now, you could say, oh, well then, wouldn't it be something where, wait a second, what about these proposals? Like, if they have access to this workspace, is it something that they would have access to? Likely there's a permissions, some safety checks there, permissions-wise, but yeah, I don't know. That was just a guess. Doesn't mean I'm right, but possibly why they broke it out that way. Awesome. All right, I think we're set up for there. And the next thing that I would want to explore is going to be setting up some of these numbering schemes, classifications. In fact, I'm not sure if the manage extension has classification as a workspace. Is that a workspace? I'd have to double check. Workspace manager? Is it underneath workspace settings? Workspace relationships. Yeah, this thing is just so extensive. That's what makes it so cool, in my mind. Okay.